The Bend Park and Rec Board meeting was held tonight. The community showed up and out in full force to weigh in on a footbridge that's been in talk since the mid-90s. Tracy Tuesday was there and has the latest.
The Bend Park and Rec Board meeting was standing room only as community members came out to either express their support or rejection over the Deschutes Trail South project.
For this project in particular, we have that section of the Upper Deschutes River that has certain protection. So there's a state scenic waterway program, and then there's a federal wild and scenic rivers program. The river segments that are part or classified as the scenic or recreational, there's different designations for different portions of the river, have certain guidelines attached to them. And for the management plan for the Upper Deschutes River within the state segments, which is where the location of this bridge is proposed, there is language in there that says new bridges will not be permitted. So, however, there are some mechanisms through the plan to apply to have a one-year waiting period that goes through a review process with the state, and then the state would ultimately decide if we could move forward with the project or not.
Many communities came out to express their opposition to the project.
The primary concern with the bridge that Oregon Wild has, and as well as a lot of other conservation groups in Central Oregon, is that it would set a precedent to weaken public lands rivers protections.
We support the protection of public lands and wild places. We also oppose the construction of a bridge over the southern Deschutes River.
A bridge would result in more urbanization. Parks would be required to fence the riparian area to protect it. Bend Parks has no standing as a landowner. They could not propose the bridge be built.
I've been a patron of Bend Park and Recreation District since the Vince Guinna era. I'm opposed to building the footbridge in the wild and scenic section of the Upper Deschutes River.
I am emphatically opposed to the idea of a bridge in the southwest corner of the city.
There were some at the meeting that wanted to see the development move forward.
And lastly, I'm here for the pedestrian and bike bridge south of town. I hope you guys can find a way to make that happen. If you've ever walked or driven or rode your bike on Reed Market, it is terrifying, and having an alternative south of town to be able to access the amazing trails and parks in our community would be great. So please do your best and try and make this a real thing.
While the board meeting was only meant to gather history and listen to the community's thoughts and opinions over the project, there was some guidance from Bend Park and Rec's board members on how they'd like to proceed. Did you feel like you received any direction from the board this evening? And if so, what was it?
Sure. So one thing that I want to be really clear about is that our board did pass a resolution in 2019 that halted work on this project. So we have not been actively working on the project. Tonight was really a recapitulation of the project's history and kind of an info session for our board. What I did hear from our board is they would like us to come back with some ideas for possible work plans for trying to figure out some of those really important questions. What would a bridge look like? What are some of the impacts? So I think as staff, we're going to be going back and kind of sharpening our pencils and trying to figure out, is there a work plan that we could present to our board that would then seek their approval to move forward to study this project further?
Tracy Tuesday, News Channel 21.